01-207-5169.
Do you want your kid to run faster with better running form and conditioning for his or her sport? Then Running Development Academy is the place for him or her. Our training packages fix their form and make them run faster. How about training to run a marathon or just run faster in your respective event? Maybe you just want to learn to run properly and lose weight in the process. Our trainers, a former 800 meters track Olympian and an 8 times world record holder in Masters Track and Field, will get you there. Don't delay. Sign up today at runningdevelopmentacademy.com or contact us at 973-868-1444. That's 973-868-1444 to learn more.
Are you looking for a professional logo design for your website, brand, or business? Then we are the company you are looking for. We are professional graphic designers, and with our skills, we will design a perfect, high-quality logo for you. We work with standout concepts, nice contrasts, and color balance. Please let us know your text for use in logo, web address, color of logo that you want. We will design 3 variations of your logo for you to choose from for only $99.95, with 100% refund of your $99.95 if you're not satisfied. We provide fast delivery and professional design. We also design any size web banner ad for $35. Call us at 347-674-1680. That's 347-674-1680. An operator is standing by to take your call.
This is the South Orange Maplewood Online Radio Experience. We want to hear from you at 973-327-3626 or log on to showmore.org to let us know your opinion.
Hey, it's time to have some fun and turn back the calendar to 1962 and watch as a spirited Baltimore team, through great song and dance, integrate a TV dance show and achieve her dream of performance. You guessed it, it's Hairspray! Shows May 1st, 2nd, 8th, 9th, 15th, 16th at 8 p.m. and May 3rd and 10th at 2 p.m. at the Bergdorf Theater of Performing Arts. General tickets $25. Call 973-761-8453 or visit thestrollers.org for more information. Don't stay at home. Come play with the Strollers.
1, 2, 3, retire!
Okay.
Welcome to the West Wing Week, your guide to everything that's happening at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. This week, the president visited Lehman College in New York City, taped an episode of The Late Show with David Letterman, hosted a Cinco de Mayo celebration, announced his nominee for the new chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and presented the 2014 Commander-in-Chief's Trophy that's May 1st to May 7th, or Viva los Estados Unidos, on World Press Freedom Day, Friday. The president met with 3 journalists from Russia, Vietnam, and Ethiopia who were persecuted merely for doing the important work of independent professional journalism. On Monday, the president traveled to the Big Apple to visit Lehman College in the Bronx. There, he applauded the launch of My Brother's Keeper Alliance, a new nonprofit aimed at eliminating opportunity gaps for boys and young men of color.
But really, that's what this comes down to is, do we love these kids? If we feel like because they don't look like us, or they don't talk like us, or they don't live in the same neighborhood, that they can't learn, or they don't deserve better, or it's okay if their schools are run down, then it's not surprising that we're going to lose a lot of them. But that's not the kind of country I want to live in. You matter. You matter to us. You matter to each other.
He also joined some young students for a roundtable discussion to hear how they overcame challenging circumstances to get ahead in school. Then the president flew from one borough to another to join David Letterman on one of his last shows as host of The Late Show.
Unlike late-night talk shows, I am term limited.
The president had a late-night showing of his own, arriving at the White House shortly before his Letterman interview was scheduled to air. On Tuesday, the president nominated a new chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Joe Dunford, and a new vice chairman, General Paul Selva. That evening, the president hosted a Cinco de Mayo reception in the East Room. Beforehand, he got to meet the talent, the Esperanza Azteca Youth Orchestra of Los Angeles and Puebla, Mexico.
And happy Cinco de Mayo! I know there are tacos and churros and margaritas, tequila, so I'm going to be brief. I'll let you get back to the tequila. She sounded very excited about that.
On Thursday morning, the president sat down for a visit with the White House fellows.
The conversation is off the record, so you don't need to worry about that. I
wasn't. Later, he bestowed the 2014 Commander-in-Chief's Trophy to the Air Force Academy football team. In the afternoon, the president left the White House for Portland, Oregon. So stay tuned for next week's edition, where you can catch footage of the president's trip to Oregon and South Dakota. And in the meantime, stay engaged with us online. And remember, it's Teacher Appreciation Week, so be sure to thank a teacher. To find out more information about any of these topics and see complete videos of these events, go to whitehouse.gov. And thanks again for checking out this edition of your West Wing Week.
Hey, brother. Thank you, man. I'm doing good. Huh? Come on.
I was 10 years old when my mother went missing. She's been missing for 22 years.
My sister Pam has been missing now for 5 years.
Our son, Larry Jr., he's been missing for 8.5 years. This is like a nightmare.
My daughter was 4 years old when she was abducted. All her toys are still in her room. I miss my child. I miss my baby.
Black and Missing Foundation is a nonprofit organization to bring awareness to missing persons of color. What I saw in the media was a disparity in the coverage of missing people of color. We're not trying to dishonor any community, we're just trying to even a playing field. Since our inception in 2008, there have been 1.2 million people of color reported missing. The Black and Missing Foundation assists families in a number of ways. We assist them in working with law enforcement.
The Black and Missing Foundation is very important because of Ms. Wilson's law enforcement background. They bridge that gap with law enforcement and the victim's family.
We assist them in getting media coverage.
Regardless of where you come from, as far as your neighborhood, your socioeconomic standing, the complexion of your skin, each life has value. This organization works tirelessly to keep that message in front of society.
We created a website so anyone around the country can see the thousands of missing people of color, and they can help bring that individual hope. I'm in media relations. Derica is a veteran law enforcement official, and those are the two critical components needed in finding our missing.
So if someone has any information, please report it anonymously to bamfi.org. It could be your family, and you would want someone to report it.
Our 5K is a great way to raise awareness to missing persons all throughout the United States.
Here we go. On your mark. Get that.
But most importantly, we educate and empower our community to take action in finding our missing or providing closure for families. And these families need our help.
The day that Michelle Nicole went missing was a normal day. She was on her way to her after-school program.
She left, kissed me goodbye, said I love you, said I love you back, be safe. And everything, and she took off, and that was the last time I seen her.
It's not easy to get exposure for a missing child of color. I know this firsthand. I personally reached out to every media outlet you can possibly imagine and was brushed off like a fly on the shoulder. My sister in Georgia told me about an organization called Black and Missing. From the minute we contacted Black and Missing, the exposure began. All over the country. Somewhere around month 3 or 4, I gave up hope of finding her alive. And while in bed, a wreck, the phone rang, and it was Derica.
And I told her that we were going to find her daughter.
She said, "Hey, Janelle, do you want to go on The View?" And I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. And Natalie kind of shook me a little bit and said, Janelle, you can do this. And you will do this.
So, hello and welcome to The View.
Whoopi Goldberg heard about the Black and Missing Foundation, and she wanted to use their platform to help bring awareness to missing people of color because she understands that there's a disparity.
See this girl? Her name is Michelle Diamante Green. If you have any information, maybe you saw somebody with her, take a good look. Go into your memory. If you find that you have just the least bit of information, please contact the authorities. It will really be a wonderful thing to reunite this family. Thank you, Janelle and Zerica Wilson. We will be right back.
About 15 minutes after the segment aired, my phone rang.
I received a tip from a caller that advised that they knew the whereabouts of Michelle Green. I, in turn, notified law enforcement to get units sent out there to that address.
They found my baby. I just hugged her. And I just reveled in that one moment that I was hugging my daughter again.
They were able to find this young lady that had been missing for 5.5 months.
I never thought that I would be on national television. Never. And I especially never thought we would be on national television and my daughter just be delivered back home to us right away.
Here he is when he was graduating from Head Start. I had gotten custody of Deshaun when he was 3 years old. He was a fat little baby back then. Deshaun is my oldest grandchild. Deshaun is my heart. He would dress as a female. Majority of the time he would put on dresses and skirts, and he kept his hair done all the time. But I didn't care how he dressed because I was going to love him anyway. He was my world. I loved him. I didn't care that he was gay, but it set him up as to be a target. He was picked on and people would fight him, you know. He went to meet a friend and he disappeared without a trace.
There is an issue of missing gay youth in America, especially in the African American community. It's taboo to be gay. You know, and there's so many transgender teens who are missing. They're being lured into sex trafficking, and it's just heartbreaking. But it's time for our community to wake up because it's happening in our backyard.
The Black and Missing Foundation came into my life when I felt I had nobody. You know, nobody had my back.
We continue to help families who are still searching. We ask them to never give up hope. Since our inception, we have assisted many families in finding their missing loved one. Sadly, not all of them have been returned alive. However, they do have some sense of closure, finding or getting an answer, whether it's good or bad, as to what happened to their missing loved one.
I'm a family. If it take the last breath of my body, I'm finding out what happened to my grandchild. I miss my baby. He has to hurry up and come home.
I knew something was going wrong when I called my son's mom in the morning, and I went to her home that evening to retrieve the kids, and nobody was there. A neighbor informed me that they had moved, and at that point I knew they were gone. With parental abductions, you know who has your child, but you just can't put your hands on it. I worried about their health because I had checked the school systems and everything, and they weren't in school or anything. When I would go to the police department, they would tell me it's a civil matter. I have to go to the judge and get a contempt order. I went to the judge, I had a contempt order. It was just a nightmare because I was back and forth every day. And that's what I went through for almost 2 years.
We know there's a sense of distrust with the minority community and law enforcement, so we coach them through that process.
When I spoke with John about his case, I said, you must choose your words carefully. Your children's mother abducted them. It's a parental abduction, and that's how it needs to be filed with law enforcement. I actually reached out to law enforcement directly. I went to the chief of police. Once you actually label or classify the case appropriately, it sends a sense of urgency to law enforcement.
Once Derek and the Black and Missing Foundation got involved, I finally got the help that I needed to get a detective assigned to my case.